Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Office Hours, where I take deep dives into questions that are submitted by you, our community. The questions are usually about product, styling, behind the scenes, anything goes, really. So let's get started. So, our first question of the day is, what is a popular style that you don't personally wear? This is such an interesting and thoughtful question. So, thank you for submitting it. So, yes, there is one style that is very popular with our community that I don't personally really wear, and that style is the sheer to waist. So, let me explain a little bit. So, many of you know that when we started Threads in 2018, we launched one pair of tights, and it was the sheer contour tights. So, I've explained in maybe one of my past episodes that the way we created the sheer contour tights is I sent out a survey and I polled over 200 people and I asked them what they wanted in the perfect pair of tights. And for the most part, people did indicate that they wanted a control top. And personally, I have always been a fan of the control top. I don't really think I've ever even really worn that many pairs of tights that didn't have a control top, just because most of the times when I was wearing tights, I would wear them under like a work dress or a skirt, so it was helpful to have something, be a little bit more smoothing and shaping underneath. That's just my personal preference. So when we launched the sheer contour, we got so many great reviews on that, but we also had people email in and they said, your sheer contour is great, but when are you going to come out with a sheer to waist option? And I remember the first few emails I got on that, and I didn't even really know the term sheer to waist. Like it was very new to me, but people were emailing me pretty frequently and using that term. And it was at this point where I realized, okay, like clearly this is something that our community wants. So let's look into it. So after, a year or so, we finally designed and brought to market our sheer to waist tights. And I will link them here, but they're awesome and they're loved by so many people in our community. And it was also just very eye-opening for me because as someone who loved the control top option, it wasn't really in my orbit, the idea of, wearing a pair of sheer to waist tights. But after we've received so many emails, it was very obvious to me that, there are so many people out there who don't like control tops. So yeah, that's kind of the story of how we came up with the sheer to waist tights. And even to this day, don't really wear them that often. The only time I wear them is generally if I'm already wearing some sort of bodysuit or shapewear, and then I'm wearing tights on top, then I will do the sheer to waist because I don't want like the double control top shapewear situation. I also find interestingly, people either choose the sheer to waist or they choose the contour to control top. I feel like people are usually one team or the other, but there are people who also will wear both and they'll kind of try out whatever styles. We have also gotten some requests for us to create a sheer to waist style in the TFM fly style. And it is something that we're working on because we do have a lot of men in our community who love the sheer to waist option. It's just a little bit harder because the contoured control top makes it a lot easier for us to add that fly panel, while with the sheer to waist, it's a little bit tricky because the entire brief area is sheer. So we are working on it and we're trying to figure out ways that we can develop the style. But as you know, like we don't like to compromise on design and quality. So that's why it's taking a little bit longer. So I hope that answered your question on, the popular style that people love, but I don't necessarily wear all the time. Okay, so now on to our second question of the day. And the question is, have you thought about making seamless tights? So this is a great question. And it's a question that we've gotten many times over the past few years. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit. And as you know from one of my previous episodes where I talked about our product development process, whenever we get many emails from people asking about a product that is 100% something that we will look into just because we know there is demand on that. So we've looked into this in the past, and so I'll just talk a little bit about why we have not launched a pair of seamless tights yet. So back to my product development episode, when I talk about the 3 considerations we always think about when developing a new product, one of them is, can we develop this new style without sacrificing elements that you guys already love? So can we add another feature while maintaining all the other features? And what I mean by that is reinforced toes. You guys love the boarded foot and calf area. And those are things that basically requires seams. So if we design a pair of seamless tights, we're kind of going to have to give up those features. And for us, we have to think about, is that something that's going to improve your overall experience as a person who is wearing that pair of tights? And a lot of the times the answer is no. Many of you guys know I really love the feature of ours that's the boarded foot and calf area. And I've explained this a little bit in the past, but basically instead of just, being like a tube shape when you're holding up the pair of tights, our tights actually look like someone's foot and calf area. And the reason why I think that's so important, and the feedback that we've gotten from you guys, is it creates a way better fit around the ankle and the calf area. Basically the better the fit, the more likely it is to last and to not rip. I've mentioned in the past that one of the most common reasons why your tights are ripping is because the fit is not good. You want the fit to be as close to the skin as possible without being overly stretched. So when we designed the boarded calf and foot area, we wanted the fit to be as close to your natural body shape as possible. So this is a feature that I'm really, really I'm really stuck to when it comes to the designs of our tights. So another reason why we have not been able to make the seamless tights work per se is the cotton gusset. So I want to talk a little bit about the cotton gusset. I think a lot of times it gets a bad rep, and let me explain. So the cotton gusset is usually this small piece of fabric that is in the crotch of your tights. And it's usually like this big, like maybe that, I don't know, I can't make the shape, but it's usually a little piece of fabric that is made of cotton. And you'll see it sitting right at the crotch of your tights. And for some reason, people don't like this, or they think it's annoying, or they think it's very extra. But I am here today in defense of the cotton gusset. It's actually very, very important. And I'm going to tell you why. So it's pretty 50-50, the people who wear underwear with their tights and the people who don't wear underwear with their tights. It's totally personal preference. So if you are not wearing underwear with your tights, the cotton gusset basically helps hygiene down there, and it helps with breathability, helps with irritation. And overall, if you talk to any doctors or people in the health world, they do recommend you wear underwear that is made of cotton or a fabric that is, more breathable than cotton. Cotton is just the standard because there's been a lot of studies and tests done on it. So we all know that cotton underwear is good for you. So when we have a cotton gusset down there, it essentially just helps your overall health down there, especially for people who are not wearing underwear with their tights. Now, we use 100% cotton with our gusset, but there are a lot of brands out there, especially, the ones that are more fast fashion, who will not really use 100% cotton down there. Sometimes it's just nylon, and that's really not going to give you the same benefits as using cotton. So, if you're buying from other brands, I would go on the package and look at the material that the gusset is made of, because it actually makes a difference. And especially if you are someone who is not wearing underwear with their tights, this is definitely something that you should be a little bit more aware of. I think especially as we get older, health down there becomes more and more important. So yeah, cotton gusset, very important. And if we were to make a seamless pair of tights, we basically wouldn't be able to put a cotton gusset down there. And I just don't feel good about that decision, knowing how many people out there are wearing tights without underwear. It's one of those things where maybe you wear the tights once, it's fine, but over a long period of time and with repeated use, it's not really doing you any favors down there. And I just don't feel comfortable as the founder of a brand designing a product, selling that product to you, knowing that it's probably not, I mean, it's not bad for you per se, but it's also, missing that very key benefit that the cotton gusset provides. So those are, some reasons why we have not been able to bring a pair of seamless tights to market. That being said, we are not giving up because, yeah, it is something that you guys have written to us about. So, of course, we're going to, try again. And there's always new technologies being developed. So, never say never. But those are the main reasons why we haven't launched a pair of seamless tights today. Okay, third and final question of the day. We have recently been getting a lot of questions around what products we're coming out with this fall or winter, or whether or not we're working on specific products. So I thought it would be helpful just to kind of go over what we have coming this fall, winter, which is just in a few months. And also tell you a little bit about some of the stuff that we've been working on an ongoing basis. So let's start off with talking about the things that we have coming this fall. And the number one thing that I am very excited about is our compression tights in black. They will be arriving in September. And you know that I love our compression tights and I love to talk about the benefits of the compression tights. And you guys have been loving them too. So we decided to bring them in black. So for those who don't know, we launched our compression tights in tan last year and you guys have been loving them. So we will be having them in black this fall. I've mentioned before, but compression tights are beneficial for almost everyone. Whether you're sitting at a desk all day or you're on your feet a lot or you work out a lot or you're pregnant or travel a lot, it can be really beneficial for you. So definitely check with your doctor and your healthcare professional. But our light compression tights are very beneficial. So they are 8 to 15 millimeters of mercury, which is on the light compression side. And an added benefit is if you are rough with your tights, compression tights can actually help you get more wears out of your tights because due to the compression, it's actually a higher denier. So our tights are actually 70 denier, but they wear like a sheer tight, just based on the way that they're constructed. So an added benefit for those who are rough on their tights. The second thing that I'm really excited about is our fall winter collection. So last year was the first year where we dropped a limited time celebration collection. And it was a set of, I believe, 4 patterns that were kind of like the patterns of the season. And you guys love them. So we're going to be doing it again, but obviously with different patterns and different colors. So stay tuned for that. I won't spoil what we have in store, but I'm very excited and I think you guys are going to love them. All right, third thing we have coming in the next few months is merch. So we are almost 7 years old now, Threads, and we're finally just getting merch. A lot of you guys have been kind of on our case about getting merch, and I think it's just something that we've kind of procrastinated on just because we've been so busy with so many other things, but we will be getting merch. So think, hats, crew necks, they're all going to be unisex and, minimalist, but fun and cool. So stay tuned for that. And so on the other side, the things that we are working on so many things at all times. So for example, we're working on a thicker pair of tights that's even thicker than the opaque. We've gotten a lot of demand on this. So particularly from people who live in very cold states or provinces. I know this is really important for you guys. I mean, I understand. I'm from Canada. So again, it's always about how do we balance, the tight like thickness and warmth with breathability, and we still want it to wear very light and not bulky. So during our R&D process, we're always thinking about those considerations. Another pair of tights that we have been working on for the past 2 or 3 years is the maternity tights. So in an ideal world, I would love to take the opaque tights, what you guys love about the opaque tights, and kind of transform it into a perfect pair of maternity tights. And we got really close last year, but it just wasn't it wasn't 100% there, and I'm very, very picky about product. So we kind of put it on pause, but it's something that we're actively working on. And I don't know, hopefully they'll be ready by the next time I'm pregnant. So we're working on those. Third thing that we're working on is we would love to come out with a really luxurious pair of cashmere tights. Like, definitely they will be a little bit more of a splurge product, but I think something that's like really cozy, soft, warm, just like something that's perfect for winter. I would love to do something like that. But as you guys know, it's tough to balance like a new feature like introducing a really luxurious soft yarn with the existing design of our tights while also being really easy to take care of. So we want something that's machine washable, something that is going to feel really good on like the 20th wear as it is on the first. So that's been tough, but I'm very committed to making it work. And the fourth thing that we're working on an ongoing basis is a bodysuit. So this is, a new category for us, but we've gotten emails and requests about it for a while now. So it's been something that we've been working on for the past year or two. So stay tuned. Definitely not going to be a 2025 thing, but maybe a 2026 thing. So yeah, if you have any feedback on your existing bodysuit or what you want in your wish list, definitely feel free to email us because we love incorporating those aspects. And the fifth thing that we are working on is we are constantly getting requests to turn certain styles that we have into like the TFM fly style. So as I mentioned with the sheer to waist, people want like a fly style sheer to waist. And we would love to do that. It just does take a lot of iteration and design changes and just, gymnastics on making it work. So some requests have been, an opaque TFM style or a compression TFM style. We would love to get to the point where we can have basically like our unisex line and then like the TFM line, but that's, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I just want you to know that, those requests are there and we are thinking about it and working on it. We just have a really small team. So things do take a long time. And we also just want to be really thoughtful and careful about the things that we are putting out to market. I will not launch anything unless I am 100%, 110% sure that this is the best possible product that we can make. So I hope that is helpful on giving you a little bit more of a glimpse into what we have on the go, the stuff that we have, kind of like ready to launch versus things that we're working on. Of course, continue sending us emails and requests of products that you want to be made because we love to see those. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for following along and joining us for another episode of Office Hours. So if you have a question that you want answered in a future episode, please submit it either in the comments below or in the link in the comments. We have like a little form. And if you have any feedback on this episode, please let us know. We love hearing what you guys think. So thanks again for joining us and have a great week ahead.